Hello, my loves, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. My name is Naomi Meraz, and in this film, I'll be taking you on a journey to Oaxaca, Mexico. I celebrated my 21st trip around the sun with my lover, infusing myself in sacred indigenous ceremonies, plant medicine, frolicking through unknown forests, connecting to Mother Earth's elements, and coming to a cyclical end and beginning to a new chapter in my life. We finally made it to our little pueblito mágico, San Jose del Pacifico. I was so in love. Not only was there an amazing view, but the energy was just so beautiful and tranquil. And our stay even had some amazing, powerful, deeply feminine artwork that was so spiritual and so welcoming. There was so much symbolism in the art pieces, and there were quotes everywhere we went. So I decided that during this 21st chapter of my life, instead of drinking and forgetting and falling into that social norm, I chose to remember my lineage and travel to this small little pueblito in Mexico and just really ground down to Mother Earth. I started my first day of my 21st year journaling and really getting deep on my intention for this new chapter, as well as reflecting and really gaining some introspection on how my year went and where I see myself going. Something that really came up for me is truly allowing myself to show up radically authentic and true to myself, surrendering to the miracle of this moment in full faith that something beautiful is sprouting from every single experience that Source has to offer me. From that tiny sapling and seed, I can continuously be planted, grown, flourish, wilt, die, and become reborn over and over in a single lifespan. So, to be honest, there were many expectations and judgments that kind of sprouted in the back of my mind because of this conditioned idea that because I'm 21 and I'm an adult now, that I should have a certain kind of life and behavior. But instead, I chose to send love to all of those limiting thoughts and past versions of myself, and to simply and unconditionally accept that I can continue to choose love no matter what arises. I have the power to create my own story and surrender to nature's healing by simply allowing myself to be held by the earth to connect me back to spirit. So after my whole renaissance with journaling and really getting deep, we decided to start my birthday with some delicious and breathtaking views at this restaurant that was recommended to us by a local, and it was so perfect, and the food was amazing. The never-ending mountains and clouds really gave me perspective to how tiny we are in such a vast and infinite world. We really are just a speck in space and time, and middle of nowhere, we truly have this beautiful opportunity to find ourselves in the intricacies and the tapestry of our life. One of my favorite parts about traveling is getting to talk to the locals, connecting with strangers across the world, and getting to hear their stories about the food, about their family, their lineage, their culture, their art. This area is very rooted in the divine feminine, indigenous practices, and the spirituality is really rooted in nature, gods, goddesses, deities, and really by honoring the female womb as a portal of rebirth. And there truly is equality between the men and women roles in these sorts of indigenous tribes. So in their eyes, Mother Earth is seen as this womb, as this place of really surrendering, nurturing, and allowing for the soil to enrapture you in this rebirth. And one of the most powerful symbols they have in this magical little town is the mushrooms, which is why I decided that I wanted to start off my new year with a sacred practice of taking this plant medicine, the mystical shrooms. Part of the reason why this tiny little village of San Jose del Pacifico really honors and holds these mushrooms as sacred is because of the fact that they invite us to dive deeper and really invoke those subconscious thoughts, our traumas, that inner child, generations and ancestral ties that have been deeply rooted within our spirit, our mind, and our body. I felt so called and ready to take on this plant medicine, especially because it was my 1 year around the sun and my 21st birthday. I felt that it was a beautiful opportunity to transform and quite literally felt all these guides by the moon cycle. I was menstruating. It was a new moon. It was my birthday. There was this entire shift energetically that really encouraged me to take on this beautiful mushroom ceremony. During the ceremony, they include the 4 elements of fire, earth, water, and air. Weaving all these together, I had the opportunity to release and rejuvenate, shedding and forgiving the inner child. First, you are held in lodge, which, if you don't know what it is, basically symbolically held in the mother womb of this clay-like dirt teepee, and inside there are placed many hot stones, which are then poured on with water, creating a steam and a sauna where it is pitch black, and you are basically invited to be reborn again. Shortly after is when we started to take and really set our intentions in prayer for the mushrooms, which in this case were a tea fusion. And then afterwards got to explore the forest, the trees, the birds. It was a very, very sacred and deeply spiritual practice that allowed me to shed so many layers, and I started to feel this tingling sensation in my body and notice sacred geometry and hieroglyphics and this really deep sense of almost like a third point of view where you are observing yourself. And upon closing my eyes, I had so many visualizations and hallucinations of myself as a child and holding myself, forgiving, letting go, past lives and gods and goddesses. It was such a magical experience.
I really felt this opportunity to transmute all that stress, anxiety, and baggage that I was carrying due to my own personal life trauma and generational ties that I was able to break and step deeper into. And so this is definitely probably one of the best moments I've experienced in my life. And my partner next to me, who didn't take the dose but was there guiding me, and I felt so safe and so held in such an external but internal connected way. It's very hard to describe, but a deep sense of love and forgiveness and surrender for the world. And from this day on, I still feel a bit different, like my lens has been cleared and I have this opportunity to step deeper into my life.
Then we started our day a bit more by exploring the village, tasting some amazing foods, and we discovered a beautiful restaurant sitting right on the mountainside. Just sitting here immersed with nature and the forest and the clouds and simply observing the stillness and slow pace of life really enraptured us. The warm café de olla in my stomach, it just felt like we were in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time right at home. And while we were enjoying our breakfast, a beautiful little fluffy cat kept jumping on me, and she did not want to leave. She just really wanted snuggles. All the animals were so sweet, and even all the dogs, the stray dogs that were in the street, they were so kind. Following our breakfast, we decided to go on exploring, and we ended up finding a forest opening on the side of the road. I felt so called to explore the gaps in nature, like the wind guiding me to the small intricacies of my mind. As we were frolicking through the forest, we suddenly found a sign that was guiding us to a swing named El Columpio del Duende. So along the way, we found so many beautiful plants, flowers, and little beautiful dainty butterflies. I felt this nudge to continue the depths of the forest deeper. In my opinion, I feel that nature is God, expressing itself through love in the trees, the animals, the clouds, the plants, and everything that is. After roaming through the depths, me and my lover finally arrived at the hidden swing. This beautiful ethereal feeling of flying in this huge swing on the side of a steep green hill, it really felt like a movie. We were so immersed and just innocently happy like little children. This was definitely one of the highlights of my trip, just going on these tiny random adventures and finding gems along the way was so magical. Afterwards, we climbed right up the hill and found this sweet little farm owned by this little man. He was so kind, and he owned this adorable baby German Shepherd that we were playing with. He was super kind and let us roam his land, sharing stories with us about how his farm has been passed down for generations and how he has lived among the mountains for his entire life. On our very last day, we decided to take another trip 3 hours away to a famous, beautiful waterfall in Oaxaca called Hierve el Agua. So these are natural hot springs, and it's a very sacred and mystical place, especially for the Zapoteco people of Oaxaca, which is an indigenous tribe. Once we arrived, we hiked all along the hot springs for about an hour, exploring the plants, animals, and the very unique and beautiful sacred environment. Finally, when we arrived to the aguas termales, it felt so rewarding, getting to see all the natural habitat and completely immersing ourselves in the transcendental water on the cliffside. It was so amazing. After our trip came to a subtle end, so much inner peace washed over me for this opportunity to explore the depths of the world, my mind and soul. Stepping into this new reality, I realized that this trip really gave me a chance to step outside myself and truly let go, die, and become reborn in these certain aspects of myself. This rebirth transformation was really channeled by simply surrendering to the plant medicine, letting go of expectation, fully feeling the ecstasy of being in the present, in nature, spontaneity, and submerging ourselves in new paradigms. On top of all of the beauty I witnessed, I also began losing a part of an identity that I've held onto for so long. That I am not me, but I am one with the consciousness of the universe. Simultaneously, after observing how happy and simple these villagers lived, really humbled me and my partner. We gained this new profound perspective on how these simple people gain so much happiness and peace and joy by the most minimalistic lives. Sometimes we get so caught in this idea that joy is found outside of ourselves, but the true key lies in the simple gifts of life. A smile to a stranger, the breath in your lungs, the sunlight in your skin, connecting with loved ones, or simply observing a breathtaking view. God is just that, love pouring outside and into the world. We all have this chance to live life through a lens of love, gratitude, and joy. And by simply changing our perspective, releasing and forgiving old versions of ourselves, we can become reborn and begin seeing life as heaven on earth. Thank you so much, my earth angels, for joining me on this new chapter back to home, self, and love. I'll see you all next time. Bye.